Thailand's Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul will travel to Malaysia tonight to sign an expanded ceasefire agreement with Cambodia at the ASEAN summit tomorrow. He'll do so alongside Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim and US President Donald Trump. Mr. Anutin had delayed his trip following the death of Thailand's Queen Mother Sirikit last night. Meanwhile, diplomacy is in full swing in Kuala Lumpur ahead of the summit. ASEAN has officially welcomed Timor-Leste as its 11th member, a historic milestone for the young nation. Timor-Leste's foreign minister called the induction a proud moment, saying it gives the country a stronger voice in regional politics and diplomacy.
These accessions reflect more than just institutional formality. They represent Timor-Leste's strong faith in ASEAN's ideals and a profound belief in our collective future, a future that is built on harmony, cooperation, and mutual respect. The journey to this has been long, from the struggles of its birth to the years of state building and the passionate pursuit of ASEAN membership. The story of Timor-Leste is one of remarkable tenacity.
A rare joint meeting between ASEAN foreign and economic ministers also took place. Reports say the last joint meeting was held in 1999. Analysts are viewing this departure from routine as ASEAN's adaptive response to a more unpredictable global landscape. And for more, CNA's senior correspondent Afifah Ariffin joins us live from the summit venue in Kuala Lumpur. So, Afifah, thank you for joining us. Tell us the latest developments ahead of tomorrow's ASEAN summit. Any key takeaways from today's meetings?
That's right. A lot of meetings happened today, especially as ASEAN's foreign affairs and economy ministers met about 4 times throughout the day, sending a strong signal of unity and coordination, especially as the region is facing mounting pressures, whether geopolitically or on the economic front. Malaysia's foreign affairs minister Muhammad Hassan had concluded today's session by holding a press conference addressing members of the media, where he spoke a lot about the need for ASEAN centrality, the importance of ASEAN centrality, especially when dealing with issues, whether it be within the region or externally. And on the topic of Myanmar, something that was a question that was raised many times by several reporters from various medias, he spoke about how the leaders in ASEAN had stressed and agreed on the need for a fair, inclusive and credible elections to happen. He also talked about how senior officials within ASEAN are also studying the situation and deliberating on the appointment of a special envoy, or whether to send observers when Myanmar holds its elections. Now, another thing that was raised was, of course, that Thailand-Cambodia expanded ceasefire deal. That's something that's set to be signed here in KLCC tomorrow, and the region is very closely watching developments on that front. He said that this is a very significant step for ASEAN to demonstrate its capacity and ability to mediate and also to maintain regional stability. Now, on a more global front, what the Malaysia's foreign affairs minister had said was that he called on the bloc to work together to face economic challenges and to build resilience. So let's listen in to what he said at one of those meetings, the joint foreign and economy ministers meeting earlier today.
Our task is to ensure that interdependence becomes a bridge for cooperation rather than a tool of cohesion. In this regard, while deepening our ties with traditional partners, we must also diversify and expand our economic engagements, forging new partnerships that enhance ASEAN's resilience and competitiveness.
And on the sidelines of all that's happening here in KLCC, we know that Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim also held separate bilateral meetings with his counterparts from Brazil and South Africa, both of those countries founding BRICS members. And observers are saying that, these meetings really reflect Malaysia's effort to position not only itself, but ASEAN as a bridge between emerging countries and the global South.
Afifah, big day ahead tomorrow. What can we expect?
That's right. Loads happening tomorrow here in Kuala Lumpur. It marks the start of the high-level leaders' meetings at this summit. And of course, it's definitely going to be one of the most closely watched days of the summit. All eyes will be on U.S. President Donald Trump's arrival here in Kuala Lumpur. He's set to arrive sometime tomorrow morning. And that's something that will really dominate headlines. So President Trump will have a bilateral meeting with Malaysian President Anwar Ibrahim. Of course, discussions will largely surround economic ties. We know that both leaders are set to sign a trade deal between the two countries. These President Trump's attendance here at the summit, it really signals ASEAN's renewed U.S. engagement with the region, and it really shows how the United States want to deepen coordination and collaboration with the region, especially as Washington and Beijing are cooling trade and tensions in trade and technology. We had heard how earlier today there was a meeting between the U.S. and Chinese delegation talking about trade, and those meetings are set to continue tomorrow.
Well, thank you for tracking that story. CNA's senior correspondent Afifah Ariffin live from the summit venue in Kuala Lumpur. Singapore's Prime Minister Lawrence Wong is heading to Kuala Lumpur for the ASEAN summit as well. He is expected to hold meetings with leaders from the United Nations, China and the United States. Joining him on the trip are Mrs. Wong and Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Vipin Balakrishnan. According to the Prime Minister's office, discussions will focus on strengthening ASEAN unity at a time of growing geopolitical and economic challenges. Leaders are expected to reaffirm their commitment to community building and to keeping the region open, stable and inclusive. They'll also look at boosting trade within ASEAN and explore new opportunities in the digital and green economies that are reshaping the region's future.